Okay, good afternoon and good morning. We are ready to go with today's presentation. I know a bunch of folks are on the line now and several hundred folks have registered. And given that it's noon on the dot, what's going to happen is they're all going to show up in the next 5 minutes. But here's what I need from you first. Please, if you can, jump on the Q&A. That's the question and answer box. You'll see either down below or somewhere on your screen, there'll be a question and answer box. Do me a favor and share with me how many folks are with you. If it's just yourself, just say myself. And second, what city are you calling from or listening in from? And finally, how many years you've been in the business. So answer those three questions so I can craft my message directly more to the audience. So again, in the question and answer box, here's what I'm looking for. How many people are with you right now? What city are you calling in from? And finally, how many years you've been in the business? That'd be great. So, hey, can some folks from Vegas, myself, great, got that. Detroit, perfect. Again, I need to know, try this again, some of you haven't gotten this straight. Let's go with how many folks are with you, which city you're calling in from, how many years you've been in the business. Thank you, Greg, I appreciate it, from Roseville, California. Appreciate that. Randy from Oak Brook, Illinois. Richard from Miami. Hey, Rich, how are you? Carol from Minneapolis, fantastic. Miami, don't use the chat box. Hey, do not use the chat box. I can't get to that. I see it flashing, but I can't get to it. Make sure you use the question and answer box, because this is how we're going to communicate going forward throughout this session. Stuart, Florida. Been to Stuart many times. Great to see that. 40 years in the business. I love it. 25 years in the business. Someone that's brand new to the business. 22 years. From Tijuana, Baja, California, my good friend JM. Great to have you on board, JM. Nashville, fantastic. Love to see that. Toronto, Denver, New York. Hey, Mike from New York. How you doing? Boston. Hey, Mr. Murphy. Good to see you join us. Marietta, Georgia, of course, Fort Lauderdale, business 20 years, and on and on and on and on. This is terrific. I appreciate that. And last but not least ever is Jack from Pittsburgh. Okay, so again, folks, for those who just need to remind you, do not use the chat box. I can't get to that. I see some of you, I can't see what your comments are, but some of you, I can see your names, Matthew, Bruce, Carol, and Alan. I hope that's Alan B. He knows to use a Q&A box. Use the Q&A box. If that's my friend Alan B. Hello to you, sir. Okay, that's how we'll move forward. We'll use the question and answer box. And then with that said, I have 3 after noon on the East Coast. Some of you are way off on the West Coast. Usually it's funny. Usually we have folks from New Zealand, but it's a little early for them right now. And certainly from Hawaii, a little late for them in Hawaii. It's a little early for them, but let's see what happens as we move forward. So I appreciate that. And so here's what I need to know. Now, I want you to think about this before you answer. I had the privilege of being on with this amazing doctor of psychology, but also an expert on listening. And in fact, he wrote a book that's been translated called Listening. It's been translated to 28 different languages. He was on my podcast last week. We'll get him out. In fact, he's on my podcast this week. I apologize. If you're not listening to the Massimo Show podcast, check it out on iTunes, Massimo Show. Dr. Goulson, who's on there, fantastic episode this week. But he shared something with me I want to find out from you, and that is, look, you can listen to me today. You can be having lunch. You can be multitasking. You do all that good stuff. Great. And you'll get little value out of this hour maximum that we're going to spend together. Or you can listen for something. So you've listened to me, right? Again, or you can listen for something. You all jumped on this call because you're listening for something. Think about that. What are you listening for? Why are you investing your valuable time, and it is valuable, I do know, to join me today? What particularly are you looking for and listening for? So I know that's a deep question for some of you, but I'd like you to answer that question. What are you listening for today? Allow me to address those issues to make sure you get value out of this versus just listening to me, maybe picking up one or two quick tangents, and you won't be applying them, right? Because knowing isn't doing. We'll talk about that a lot. But what are you listening for? That's what I'd love to know. So if you always share in the question and answer box, what are you listening for? I would appreciate it. So Devon, I'm going to ask you, when you say a better approach to the business, help me understand what that means. Ways to maximize my business. Again, those are really generic terms. In coach speak, we don't like that. We don't like saying, I want to make more money. What does that mean? I want to make $2 instead of $1, right? So be specific as you can. What are you listening for? I can't cure coronavirus. No, I appreciate that. What are you listening for today? And the more specific you are with me, the better and more value I can give to you. So I'll give you just 30 seconds, then we'll get started. I commit to you. What are you listening for today? And by the way, if you engage, the more you'll get out of this, okay? So motivation, organization, way to increase my sales volume, I got that. Routines to establish and maximize more productivity, understand that, thank you very much. A way to increase my sales, we're gonna talk about that right away, increase my sales. In fact, we're gonna start off with that specific thing, okay? Bring in more business. So you all wanna bring in more business. Find value, give me something of value, inspire me in order to grow my business, okay? Mr. Caruso, you've challenged me. I'm going to do that. I'm going to inspire you today. I commit to you. Greater efficiency in my daily life. Richard, we'll talk about that. Listen to the mantra to repeat in my head. Remind myself to do, act on what I know. That's right. Knowing isn't doing. Knowing isn't doing. Knowing isn't doing. So many things like building a team we're not going to get to today. That's some deep, really deep stuff. Increase my presence. Great. Okay. Perfect. I love that you all now share with me what you're listening for. And by the way, that's a great approach going forward in your careers. Think about this. And so how to increase sales? Let's get that right away. We're going to jump into that in a second. Some of you don't know me. We'll get to that. But here's one. If I asked you, what are you listening for? And then I modify my presentation based on what you're listening for, therefore, you should get more value, right? Put it in your world, right? You're pitching every day. Hopefully you're pitching or you're prospecting every day, right? Hopefully. Do you ever ask your audience what they're listening for? Before we get started on this call today or on this presentation day, we know why we're here, to represent the tenant or list the building or lease the space or manage or finance. Ask your audience. I just want to make sure. Let's talk about you. What are you listening for? Now, by the way, you should know that before you go into that pitch or presentation. But ever think about that? By the way, it works with your kids. It works with your spouses. It works. So ask that. What are you listening for? Okay. So let's get forward and let's go. Let's get started. Okay. So welcome to Knowing Isn't Doing. We call that Don't Kid Yourself, KID, get it, KID? Don't kid yourself. Knowing Isn't Doing. Build the business and life you desire. My name is Rod Massimo. I am the president and founder of the Massimo Group. The Massimo Group's been doing this for now 12 years. I'm also the president of a company called CRE Perform. If you all are looking to build your teams and to align yourself with the right people, check out CREperform.com. We put the science behind the selection. That's CRE Perform. CRE Boss, you can check out CREboss.com, CRE-boss.com. If you're an owner, manager of a firm, working with several of you right now, could be maybe could be a merger, could be succession planning, could be team building, could be a bunch of things, variety of things that only broker owner managers deal with. That CRE Boss is a different set of consultants I work with there. We can help you there. Hey, I've been doing this thing for over 30 years now, hard to believe, in a variety of executive positions, both in and outside of commercial real estate. I've written a couple of books that have done pretty well in the Amazon circuit, one based on the individual broker and one based on building teams. And for all those who want to know how to build teams, I would point you to that book, Teams Built to Dominate. really lays out exactly how you should build a team, compensated team, and everything else. As regards to the book, by the way, look, for those on the line right now, I'm sharing with you this. There's 100 plus of you right now. On March 11th, if you go to knowingisn'tdoing.com, on March 11th, we're allowed to sell a limited number of my brand new book, Knowing Isn't Doing, where I'm sharing a lot of our Massimo methods. I'm just opening up my kimono and saying, guys, this is how we do what we do. This is how you build your business, right? I'm only allowed to sell a limited number of books on that day because this is the first book I've ever done with a national distributor, bookstores, hard copies, Audible. That all is happening in October. So my distributor said, Rod, you have 1 to 2 days, maybe a couple more. We'll see how it goes to sell a very limited number of books. So if you're interested in that book, write that down, write that date down, because after they're gone until we do the national launch in October. So let's talk about the company for a second. We have coached now, it's actually more than that. We've coached over almost 2,800 commercial real estate professionals over almost the last 12 years. Think about that. We've coached 2,800 commercial real estate professionals. We have 30 coaches across North America. They're all experienced brokers, managers, and the like. And yeah, our clients continue to out-earn their peers by 7+X it is now. I'll share that in a few minutes what that means. Our clients continue to outproduce their peers by 7X year after year after year. It's an old Tony Robbins line, you know, I'm not telling you this to impress you, but to impress upon you. What I'm about to share with you is exactly what we share with our coaching clients, okay? The difference is they do, and soon you will know. But knowing isn't doing. So most of you are independent contractors. Let's understand that you are an independent contractor. What that means is, look, you are basically your own boss, and you got to understand that. So as you build your business, and that's the term we're using here, building your business, this is your business. Do you have the mindset to understand this is your business? You have to build a business. This isn't a job, right? This isn't a job for you all. This is your business. You have invested your time and energy, hopefully a lot of it, to build your business for not only your own good, but the good of your family and your future family. I would assume so. So remember, as an independent contractor, you are in fact the boss. And we're going to talk about that. So here's the question everyone's asking. How do I make more money? You all asked me that to start off. Why did I know you asked me that? And why did they have that as a slide? Because folks, as I travel across the country and give speeches, and we coach thousands of folks across the globe now, we're very fortunate. That's always been the first question. Hey, Rod, just give me the one thing. Give me the one thing I need, right? And here's the answer. If you're asking that question, you have commission breath. Yeah, you have commission breath. You never want commission breath, right? Some of you asked a better question. Hey, how do I build my business? Much better question. No commission breath there, no. If you're asking about money, that means you're focusing on money, and you're focusing on the wrong thing. That commission breath is a term that was provided to me by a gentleman named Mark Hunter, who is known as a sales hunter. He said, make sure your folks don't have commission breath. And I know what that means. Make sure you don't have commission breath. That will come across, by the way, that will come across in your pitches and your prospecting. Focus on your business. Folks, there is no silver bullet in making more money. There's not. There's no single thing I could tell you that would say, do this one thing and you will make a lot more money. But here's the good news. There is silver buckshot. There absolutely is. If you don't know what buckshot is, if you're not ever hunted, and not that I'm a hunter, but I did go quail hunting once with a friend, it's a spray of little pellets in a wide area, right? Consistently thrown out, frequent cadence, and you'll get a target. You'll hit your target, right? Now, I'm not talking about taking this in terms of your prospecting effort, or I'm saying this because that's completely different. When it comes to prospecting, I believe in the rifle approach. But when it comes to building your business, you got to do a lot of little things and do them consistently, and you'll find your business will grow. So first thing you got to do, without a doubt, if someone asks me, Rod, how do I maximize my income? The first thing I'm going to look at, the very first thing, is their calendar. I'm going to say, send me your calendar. In fact, we ask our clients to send them our calendars or our coaches every week. The clients that I have, the one client I have that I work with, every week he has to send me his calendar. And I'll know if we're on target or not. right? I could tell how he's allocating his time. So we use an acronym called I paid, I-P-A-I-D. Was I paid today? You were to write that down because knowing isn't doing. And that means, look, did you identify what you can do today, right? Did you prioritize what those things will be? We'll talk about that in a minute. Did you allocate the things you need to allocate? I'll help you understand that as well. Then you actually implement. By the way, the implement is the doing. The implementation is the doing. And then did you delegate or delete those things that were on your list, right? Delegate them to someone else. Absolutely. Get them off your list if you're not going to do them. You notice I didn't put the word in there, defer. Defer. I didn't do it today. I'll do it tomorrow. No. That means you planned poorly, right? You chose poorly. So in this case, just think about that acronym and think about your schedule. And every single Saturday or Sunday, or even Friday afternoon, I hope you're working sometimes on Saturday or Sunday just to plan the week. I mean, if you're at that point now in your life, which is great that you're taking the whole weekend off, that means you made it, you're satisfied, fantastic, congratulations. If you're just starting out mid-career and you're still not giving some time in the weekends to plan for the next week, this is your business. It is. Think about a business owner. Think about your dry cleaner. Think about, just go with the dry cleaner. That guy's working 7 days a week. He's busting butt. He's building his business, right? Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing. What are you doing, right? What are you doing? So I'm saying on Saturday or Sunday, sometimes during the weekend, plan the week out. Look at your calendar. Look what your tasks are. That's going to help you move forward. That's going to grow your business. That's going to increase your income. As far as the buckets of priority, yeah. You got to work in the business. Those are transactions. So you should have transactional priorities. You got to work on the business. That's the strategy, the planning. You got to have buckets in your calendar, big blocks that you're working on your business. And make no mistake, you got to have time for personal time. The spouse, the kids, whatever, yourself, the hobbies, right? The relaxation, the workouts. You got to have those buckets to move forward. As far as your resources, you got three of them, right? You got time. That's your calendar. Make your time, commit to it. You got money. That's your capital. Everything's going to require some capital. You look at your to-do list, right? And you got people. Understand that you have to leverage those three resources. That's what you need to do correctly within your calendar and your to-do list to start building. But the people does not mean full-time people. It doesn't. It could be part-time, could be virtual. It matters. At Massimo Group, we have 40 people almost today, right? And we have probably 4 to 5 full-time employees, a lot of scalable independent contractors, a lot of resources, either across the country or, across the world. Absolutely. Think about you. Now, I told you you're the CEO. Do you have the mindset of a CEO? Do you have the mindset to realize I run a business? You know, I know just earlier this week, we lost an icon in our business with Jack Welch. You know, if you don't know who Jack Welch is, I ask you to please Google him, look at some of his writings and his thoughts on management. I mean, he in many terms in my generation was the forefathers of management, CEO. How come you can't be like Jack Welch? Why not? Why not, right? Or Lee Iacocca if you're older than me, or Steve Jobs, right? Or hell, Gary Vaynerchuk. They're all CEOs. You need to be a CEO of your own company. You have to understand that. And so this production side of you, this winning the business, we always talk about this sales continuum of find, win, fulfill, find, win, fulfill. That's your production side. We all know that, or at least you should know that. Those are the 3 things you have to do: find, win, fulfill. You stop doing one of the 3, your business is going to stop. If you are just by yourself, you're going to have to do all 3. You're going to have to schedule your calendar so you can do all 3. Time for prospecting, time for servicing, right? Time for pitching and presenting. That's a tough way to go, by the way, if you're by yourself. Now, if you're also by yourself, you have to generate business, you have to operate the business, to facilitate everything going on. That's positioning your business for where you want to be. And finally, if you're the CEO, you got to do we call the personnel pentagon: the recruit, hire, train, motivate, retain. Right now, if you're saying, well, whew, thank God it's just me, I don't need to do all that, well, you're wrong. You still got to recruit talent, right? Because you have to grow yourself. You may have to hire that talent, part-time, virtual, full-time, maybe, right? Training is to train yourself, or get trained, or get coached, or just get better. You have to constantly get better. If you don't constantly get better, if you don't continually learn, you're gonna be left behind, right? And motivate, you have to motivate yourself. It's tough to motivate yourself for a lot of folks, and then retain the talent. So we call this the 3-ring circus. So if you're a broker, owner, manager on this call, some of you are, this is your life. But then again, if you're a solo entrepreneur, solo practitioner, solopreneur, this is your life as well. It really is hectic. So think about it from a standpoint of the divisions that you have, right? So you have human resources, you have operations, you have finance, you have marketing, you have sales. This is your life. This is how you build your business. This is how we help our members, our coaching clients, we call them members, build their business, right? This is the transformation you need to get to where you are today to where you want to be. You're going to be the CEO of a self-managed, self-operational company that when you go on vacation, you're not freaking out about who's making the calls. What's about this? What about that? You're just relaxing because someone else or others or processes or practices are in place. You can have a good time and enjoy the fruits of your labor. So let's break this down. Now, we've changed these models lately because we're seeing different things in the market. So from a sales standpoint, we all know we're making the phone calls. Well, let me put that back. I hope you're making your phone calls. Yeah, even the greatest, highest producing practitioners in our industry, I know for a fact, because I coached on them and we coach a lot of them, they're making calls every single day. So if you say, well, I'm different. You're not. Sorry, you're not. Calls every day. That's the sales side, the prospecting side of making the calls. What's your cadence for calls? What's your scheduling for calls? What's your calendar look like this week, today, Friday, right? Where it might be, and next week. Letters work. Letters work because no one uses them. Letters work when written correctly in the right format, they work. And certainly meeting face-to-face still today in local markets is the #1 way to make a sale. It just is. Calls and letters generally bring you meetings, but now in some cases, like in the Massimo world, we never meet with our clients until they become clients because they're across the globe, right? Some of you in triple net particularly, or bigger regions, aren't going to meet with your clients. Don't discount getting them on a video call, a Zoom call like this, GoToWebinar, or many others. Don't discount that. This last icon, if you don't recognize it, that means you're not using it. So let me wonder, I'm going to ask the audience right now, what is that last icon? What's the icon on the right? What does that represent? Can anyone answer that in the Q&A? What does the icon on the right represent? Let's see if you all are using this. No, not physical mailers. No. There we go. Michael's got it. Okay. It's digital direct messaging. We are finding that direct messaging, whether it be on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, definitely, Facebook, LinkedIn, is really, really coming of age. It's really working from a prospecting standpoint. Yeah, imagine converting leads into conversations to get the meetings through direct messaging. It's just starting to work. I used to always say, no, that's marketing, that's presence. I'm telling you from the sales side, I see it myself. Just this week, I got 3 leads having conversations on LinkedIn. That's prospecting on LinkedIn. It is. We do it with Facebook as well. So don't discount. Do not discount now. There are other channels besides phone and letters to get meetings, to get clients. Direct messaging absolutely works. Whether you're texting, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, direct messaging should be part of your daily practice. Set time aside in your calendar for social media conversations and messaging. We're going to get to that a little more. So some of you are veterans of the Massimo group. You've been around for a while. We now have 2. That's 2, the number 2 P factors. One you've never seen. I outlined it in my new book because we recognize there's a second P factor. But the first P factor has to do with your sales. And for really dominate sales based on all the members we have and the clients we've coached, this is a formula that works the best. First, you have to understand your value proposition. So you have a target audience. You have a proposition for that targeted audience, no matter if they're tenants, owners, landlords, buyers, sellers, investors, refinancing, whatever they are, right? You have a proposition that's going to resonate with them. And then you have a dominant market presence. Yeah, market presence is so critical. It just is. You know, if I asked you who the best known broker is in Chicago, Boston, Lubbock, Texas, wherever it was, you would know based on their presence, right? Do you have a presence? You got to build it. You got to build it. Big part of our curriculum at the Massimo, you got to build your presence. Then you're campaigning, your prospecting campaign, not, see, it didn't say calls there. Notice the word campaign, focus on that campaign, and then you go forward. That does lead to, I know it mathematically doesn't make sense, but I'm telling you, the numbers don't lie to me, exponentially more pitches, presentations, and productions. Exponentially more pitches, presentations, and productions. Know your P factor. In fact, I will share with you, our top producing client for the last 6 years, of all the things we share with him, this is the one thing he has pinned in his cubicle. Because he knows if he has these 3 things and he does it consistently, he'll exponentially make more money. Some of you asked earlier, how to make more money? Apply the P factor. There you go. That's how you're going to make it. Our presence pyramid, we talk about this a lot in our marketing, the 3 tiers of presence, personal, physical, digital. That hasn't changed, although now I'm refining that last piece. I really am. I'm finding more value, or much more value in that bottom piece, the digital, than I ever have. Look, I'm learning every day as well. I'm getting coached every day as well. So I am always changing little things about the Massimo, refining to make it more effective for our clients, make more money. But in this, what I mean by this presence pyramid is this. You personally have to go meet people. You physically have to send physical, tangible things you could touch to a limited audience of influencers. This isn't prospecting, this is marketing. And finally, your digital presence has to be really, truly established. Now, the effectiveness obviously goes up and down the pyramid. The cost obviously go up and down. For example, me taking you to lunch may cost me $25, just you. But in the digital world, I could do a lot of things for free, right? I just could. So just that's how that presence pyramid works. For your end, I want you to understand this. To build your business, you got to apply all 3 consistently, because we found those members who just apply 2, some members say, yeah, I don't like that digital stuff, especially the older members, they do. I don't want to do that stuff, right? They don't see the kind of returns they could. We have other members say, I'm not going to send any mailings out. I'm not going to spend that money. Well, that's a mistake. You're investing in yourself. They see less returns, right? They're all doing something personally, hopefully, but understand you have to do all 3 to move forward. So your presence initiatives, of course, are making a speech, sending thank you notes. Those are, those are personal, physical. Certainly the web, you see now direct messaging, liking things, conversations, texts, all those things matter. Corporate brochures, if you have physical brochures, use them. Postcards, use them. They still work. They're still working today. They are. Don't give up on those, right? And of course, have meetings. Go to conferences. Yes, today especially, going to a conference, you have to really think about what does success look like from a financial perspective. Just right now, just the timing of this webinar, certainly with the coronavirus and where it is, I see a lot of people saying, am I going to ICSC? Am I going to CCIM? And those a decision you need to make. But I'm telling you, conferences still work. And you still can convene people, by the way, with the right message. You can convene a lot of people on the web, right? So there are 100 plus people today. That's easy to do on the web. Your pipeline, your finances, is your finance section. Do you have a pipeline? What tool are you using for your pipeline? You've got to have a pipeline tool. The pipeline is essential to knowing how to run your business. Every opportunity you should track, from when it first starts out, a qualified prospect, to when it closes. Let me repeat that. Every single opportunity you should track, from when it first starts out to when it closes. Let's think back to Jack Welch, right? Since we talked about CEO. You think Jack Welch would have an opportunity on his board and say, hey, say his idea board, and say, this is a prospective division we could start. Well, let's not even track that, because that will jinx it. Let's not put it on our board. That might, I'm superstitious. Some of you are that way. Some of you won't put opportunities on your pipeline because you think you're going to jinx it. My response is, really? Really? You're going to jinx it? No, what you're going to do is you're going to jinx it. It's not going to happen because you're not going to give it the attention it needs to move it forward. That's what's going to happen. So your pipeline is critical. So in your pipeline, we have our tool we call MOM, because Mom always knows best. That's the Massimo opportunity map. We're looking at the probability of a deal closing, from it's never going to close to, yeah, it's closed 100%, to the status of qualified prospect to closed. If you break those down to certain quadrants, you'll find you can manage your pipeline and do the things you need to do to move your business opportunities forward. So we'll do this really quickly. The first quadrant, you're just starting out, right? You're excited, you get it. You're just a qualified prospect, low probability. Qualify. I know you're excited. You might be frustrated, maybe moving too slow. Qualify, qualify, qualify. That is so important. Look, you newbies out there on this phone call, that is essential. You're so excited. You just want to get a deal. You have commission breath. I get it. But you better qualify. You're going to end up in some quadrant you don't want to be in. Let's go down below that to verify. Okay, now you've gotten a client you've always worked with before, high probability. You're going to get the deal. You walk in their conference room and there's your competition sitting in the conference room wrapping up their presentation. You're thinking, well, what's going on? Oh, we thought we'd open it up to a wider spectrum, just get more ideas. You assumed you were going to get the deal. Therefore, you acted as if I don't need to give my new updated pitch. I don't need to give my latest revision of new services we offer. I just have to do the same old, I'm going to wing it. You didn't verify, right? You're going to lose that deal. Now let's go to the right side. Now you're getting a deal close to closed, but it's a low probability because it's never going to close. Never. And guess what? That's your fault. You got them there. That's your fault. It just is. So now you got to fire the client, which is fine. Fire the client, get that client back to reality. And finally, it's going to close, high probability, close to closing, magnify the opportunity, get the relationship moving ahead, get the referrals, right? Get the testimonial, get all those things, magnify what you did for that opportunity. So if you went right now on this weekend, right, that 1 or 2 hours this weekend and look at your pipeline, how does these 4 quadrants impact your current pipeline, the opportunities you're working on today? And what can you do to move those deals forward? Remember this, the 2 rules of pipeline, right? You have 2 choices with every opportunity. Number 1, you move the deal forward. So it goes from prospect to client. Perfect, right? Or from listing to marketing, or from marketing to LOI, or LOI to contract. You get the point, right? So you're moving the deal forward. If you can't move the deal forward, and that happens a lot of weeks, there's no movement, you better make sure you're moving the relationship forward. And what that means is sending reports, sending updates, communicating what's going on, make sure you're at least moving the relationship forward. So some homework right there for your pipeline for this weekend. You got 4 quadrants, see what you can do. Number 2, where are you? Can I move the deal? If not, can I move the relationship? Really important for all of you to understand. That's what will make your business grow. Okay, operations. Here's a new P factor that no one has seen because unless you were part of my launch team for the book, we introduced this in the new book, right? And this is the operational P factor. This is where you want to get to. This is the vision of a self-operating company. This is what it means. You have talented people working with you. Again, they don't need to be full-time employees. Don't be afraid of that. You have defined processes for doing certain things. And you have an automated platform. For some of you, that's just maybe your CRM, by the way, your automated platform for getting things done. Once you get to that point in your career, then you've hit the point of having a sustainable, consistent, growing business. Your personal and professional margin increases exponentially. Exponentially. Yesterday, I was talking to a client. I could share his name because he said it was okay. And we're going to put it out there on social media. He is in Des Moines, Iowa, of all places. He was 27 years old. He was making nothing. Joined us. When he joined us, he was making $36,000. Imagine that. Gross. Do the math. That's gross. He invested himself in our most elite program. Yeah, the highest investment you can do with a Massimo. Today, he's mid 6 figures. Mid 6 figures. Why? He aligned himself with talented people. We defined some processes. He does everything we ask. He doesn't just know, he does, and he has a platform to do it. So he went from 36,000 to now this year it's gonna be close to 500,000. It's gonna be amazing. I mean, it's just amazing what this gentleman, and that's just one of many, many of our stories with our clients when they follow these tools. By the way, speaking of tools, and an operations side, we track everything in Massimo. We just do. And that's what you see. Do you have a platform in your CRM where you're tracking what you need to track? In this case, you're looking right now at one of our pipeline tools of tracking deals. Many tools we have. This is one of them that you have access to, by the way, in one of many ways. We'll talk about that. Human resources. Yeah, this is your HR division. What are you doing to get talented people? How are you retaining talented people? One tool we use in our elite program is this tool we use at CRE Perform called the AVA. We know for a fact everyone is wired differently. You all should know that as well. If you're making decisions based on your gut, you're gonna get in trouble. You just will. The science is accurate, but it doesn't mean it's the only thing you rely on. There are many factors to growing yourself and your team. Looking at your natural behavior is just one of them, but also think about what can you do to grow your talents? Is it reading a book? Is it taking a training course? Is it getting coached? Is it whatever, right? How are you growing your own value, right? So become more valuable to your clients and prospects, you must increase your value. That's a quote from Nito Quabain. And of course, we talked about the personal Pentagon. This is you in some cases, this is your team. You have to understand these. This is the curriculum. This is the flow. Right? This is the flow of having a team. It just is. You recruit them. You hire them. What's your hiring practice? What's your hiring experience? When you recruit someone, what's your value proposition? If you need a value proposition to get a prospect, what's your value proposition to get a new team member on board? Do you ever think about that? Why would I come work with you? That can be a really differentiating value proposition. You know, what's the hiring practice like? What's your training, coaching, personnel enhancement program like? How do you motivate them with incentives, right, to retain them? You got to land all this to truly build your business. So, folks, here's a quick snapshot of your business. So, on sales, you have all these things you need to do. You just do. Marketing, all this list of things, and more and more and more. This is a sample list. Finance, pipeline, commission, tracking, taxes, budgeting, accounting. By the way, I hope you're all budgeting your practice, whether you're a solopreneur or large team, right? Operations, it's all there. Your processes, what you have to do. And finally, your human resources, the goals, expectations, the meetings, the training, all that stuff, right? Coaching, designations. This is what it means to be a CEO in any practice, let alone commercial real estate practice. Just understand where you are. So yeah, right now you're thinking cheese and crackers, that's a lot. That's a whirlwind of responsibility to truly build my business. And that's what it is, folks. I mean, it truly is. It really comes down to a couple of things here, right? So you have two choices. You got two choices you need to make on any given day, not just today, but any given day. You have two choices to make to build your business. And one's the hard choice. The hard choice is, of course, making the calls when you don't feel like it, or having someone hold you accountable, or convincing some people to let you do a BOV. Or maybe for you, it's shooting a video and you hate the camera, right? But video is really the place to be right now. Maybe calling every owner of the current listing, you just don't want to do it, or practicing your pitch for hours. That's, I don't want to do it. That's hard. Committing to your marketing spend. Yeah, I had to increase our marketing spend. And believe me, we learned this the hard way when I built the Massimo group and other cycles. Other people have shared the same thing. When the market decreases, it's the time to increase your marketing. Most people go hide in the sand. That's the time to commit to the increase, right? Maybe you don't want to work late. That's a hard decision, right? Calling prospects, even though you know they're inundated with calls, hard decision. Hiring the right team members. A lot of people are afraid to hire folks. They're just going to take my stuff. They're going to leave me and be a competitor. Hard decision. Meeting inactive clients. How often do you meet with some of you call them past, they're not, inactive clients, to forge relations, to get more referrals, to get more opportunities, more cross-selling, right? Or putting your stuff on social media and getting all the negative feedback. You know, I don't, that's hard. It is. I do it every day. I got a lot of negative feedback. It's just hard. Transaction process, building a transaction process on everything to systematically build your business so you can go enjoy yourself, right? How about writing a business plan or operating your business, or even the sense that, you know, of prospecting every day, five times a week. That's hard. Maybe investing in yourself and aligning with a coach. That just you. Why would I invest in a coach, right? I'm too busy. It's too expensive. I know everything. We've heard them all, folks. These are hard decisions. I get it. So that's choice number one. Let's go to choice number two. It becomes a little harder. Feeling stuck, right? You feel stuck. Or maybe you just joined a firm and your broker's giving you no support. Or maybe you're making money, but you have no life. You're just living in that transaction treadmill. You know, maybe watching less experienced and talented peers beat you out to listings. And maybe you're tired of being not recognized or respected or revered as a consistent top producer. You've been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years. You never really became that top producer you envisioned. Maybe you're telling people in your family, your kids, your spouse that, look, that's a little expensive. Let's hold off. Or you're stressed about your finances. Or yeah, you're really worried about, right, your current practice, your current business that you created. Because by the way, you created where you are today. You created a situation, nobody else. You created that you won't be able to save enough money for your future, right? Those are much harder choices. So back to those two choices, right? We know life is hard. We understand that. I get it. We all get it. So your choice you have to make is whether you choose the hard or the harder. And what you choose is going to impact your future. It absolutely will. By the way, if you're satisfied where you are today, fan-freaking-tastic, and congratulations. If you're satisfied where you are today, you're making the money you want to make, you have the life you want to have, perfect. God bless you. That's fantastic. Keep on doing what you're doing. I'm kind of ill. I'm never satisfied. I'm an incredibly happy person. I'm just never satisfied. For me, I just always have to grow. I always want to do something else, something more, right? So if you're not satisfied, if you're not happy where you are, you're not happy with your business, then you got to figure out how you want to proceed. And by the way, doing what you always have done, if you do that, you're choosing the harder route. You just are. So I think you need to choose the hard route. I think that you have to recognize that knowing isn't doing. Knowing isn't doing. So can you commit yourself to accept the difficult choices, right? The fork that, yeah, discipline, accountability, new ideas. Are you open to new ideas? Or you take the harder choice of saying, you know what, I'm going to continue the way I am right now. I get it. Many people have said this. I'm not the first. That the pain of change, right? The pain of discipline, right? All that, well, that's far less than the pain of regret. And that's what I'm sharing to you. If you truly want to build your business, as many of you have laid out here for me this morning, you got to start doing things differently. The market has shifted. So with that said, I'm going to take a few brief moments to share with you what we do at the Massimo Group and how we do it, and give you an opportunity to sit down with one of us for free for a strategy session to see if we're a good fit. So for some of you just starting out and really you don't even have a budget, wherever it might be, we now have a membership program, a monthly membership program at a low cost where you can have access to none of our coaching, but to some of our tools like the Massimo Mobile pipeline and scorecard, and all of our previous webinars, historical webinars and recordings and roundtables with me. So all that content you can get in Massimo membership. If you're new to the business and you just want to grow and you're less than a year in the business, we have a program specifically just for you. In fact, I'm working on this morning on redesigning that program and adding more content to it, So that new to business program, that'll be redesigned in the next 30 days. We're excited about that. We really are. 12-week group program with other folks just like you. Accelerator, that's again a group program for mid-career folks. Maybe you're feeling a little stuck. You just want to look at different ways to do things. You want the accountability, right? That Accelerator is a group coaching program That's 12 weeks in length. Again, I'm always redesigning. I'm readjusting. In fact, I've already thought of new modules for that one. So it's always redesigned. I think the next one starts next month. And finally, our elite program, our most comprehensive program, the complete transformation with that gentleman in Des Moines, Iowa said, yeah, I'm going to invest in that, right? That's when we take you, align you with a specific coach and customize to you and work on you in the transformation to building over time. Could be a year, could be 2 years. It just depends on you and where you want to go and grow or figure out. And then that elite program is for those individuals that truly, one of the things that makes the most of their choice of building a commercial real estate practice. That's what that one's about. Let me give you a little stats that we hit in 2019. And I'm proud of these stats, so I'm going to smile when I share these with you. Because we track everything in Massimo. We just do. All our clients, what they're doing. We'll start with a couple of them. Number one, $15 billion of transactions were closed in 2019. Over $15 billion with a B dollars in value transactions that we closed. Our Massimo members, so proud of them. They're the heroes. We're just the guides. They're the heroes. We're the guides. That's where they went. Over $300 million in commissions earned in 2019. The average commission fee was over $43,000. These are all record highs for the Massimo Group. Now, the fact that we have more clients, sure, we should have higher transaction value. The fact that we have more clients, sure, we should have more commissions. But the fact that we have more clients doesn't impact the average transaction fee or the next one to share with you. That means our clients are producing more money, some of you asked about that, than ever before. Think about that. The average transaction fee of $43,000, which by the investment in our coaching is a fraction of that, by the way, for one transaction. Those clients that have completed our elite program, those clients that went through and successfully completed our entire elite program, that means they're with us and played every module, right? And that takes anywhere from 18 to 24 months. They are averaging approximately $850,000, or specifically $849,000 plus. There you go with the 7+X. With the average client, the average commercial real estate practitioner is generating around $150,000 gross. So that's all about us and what we do. What I'm inviting you to do is schedule a free strategy session with us. Whether you're new to the business, you're a seasoned veteran, whether you're mid-career, stuck, you're on a transaction trail making more money than ever but don't have a life, we have programs for every level of experience. We have programs for every possible budget. Because our goal at the Massimo Group, our entire mission is to work with those that are dedicated to building their businesses, right? And making sure they can transform not only their practice, but their lives. And ultimately, yes, we'd like you to make more money in less time. So that's today's session on building your business, building the business and life you desire. And the ultimate theme is knowing isn't doing. Now it's time to do. With that said, it's 50 past the hour. I have 10 minutes to answer any questions on anything that you have. Don't just drop off. I'm sharing with you. People that ask questions are generally applicable to other folks. So, any questions, go ahead and share with me and I will answer. And it could be anything about your practice, Rod. What about this? Or how do I do that? Or hey, I have this situation. Can you help me here? I'm more than willing to answer any questions you have. And I'll wait 60 seconds and then we'll allow you all to drop off. And for those that are asking, yes, there will be recording. And let me share with you that there will be recording of this that will be posted on our public commercial real estate Facebook page, which is on Facebook, and it's CRE Mastery, and Facebook. Someone asked, where can I find the fees associated with services? Have a strategy session. You can find them there. You can find there. Our fees are all outlined during our strategy sessions. In fact, some of our fees are outlined on our website that you should see there as well. Among the top, what's the one thing they have in common? Among the top, what's the one thing they have in common? Alan, I'm glad you asked that question. We had surveyed those members, those Massimo coaching clients that are generating $1 million plus in income, right? It's gross commission income, just to be fair, it's not net, it's gross commission income. There are many things they have in common, Alan. But if I read just one thing for today, go back to slide number 1. And that is they plan their week out every single week. They know what they're doing. On Saturday, they know what they're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and sometimes Saturday. They know. They just know what they're doing and they stick to it because they don't allow the whirlwind to impact them. They control their own environment. That'd be one thing. Okay. Question. Do you have a network of your clients that can connect? Yeah, we are actually about to launch a new program beyond our. We have a public, sorry, not public, a private Facebook group that's just our members interact. But we're about to launch some new opportunities, communities, just for new to business clients, just for our accelerator clients, and just for our elite clients. And for our elite clients that are listening, I am working on this. We're close. In 2020, we will have a Massimo mastermind just for those that have graduated and obviously making a certain level of income. We have a community just for you. Thank you. Looking forward to a new book. Do you feel events like the Corona dictate agents being proactive to offer strategies and focus on CRE owners' response, or better not associate with negative environment? Hey, the coronavirus or a drop in the stock market by 3,000 points, or this is life. You know, they're impacting everybody. And it's your ability to articulate how to get through those challenges or how to take advantage of opportunities that will separate you from someone else. I'm not saying take advantage of the negative at all, but this is market. This is going on. People are looking for answers. That's why people come to us looking for answers, right? That's why there's no doubt many of you, heck, I did, right? You can't say that on Friday of last week, we weren't all calling our financial advisors and saying, can you give me your input, right? Put that in your world. You think people are looking to there, for those who own real estate and are more active in real estate transactions or leases, they don't look to you and say, okay, let's talk about this. By the way, there are more things impacting commercial real estate right now than the coronavirus or the stock market. There just are. So you have a lot to talk about with your clients. When does the next accelerator program start? That starts in April, but I will share it to you, Michael. It sells out every single time. There's only 16 seats. If you say, I'll wait to April, you'll probably be sold out. That's the way that works. What percentage of our top producers uses a CRM? I think it's last when we checked, the number, Alan, was 90. Well, here's the thing. It's 100%. And I'll make this clear. 100% of our top producers, of our multi-million dollar producers, use a CRM. At least their teams do. Some of them never touch it. They just never will. And I'll share it with you. For example, one person I coach, right, Bob Knackle in New York, he'll never touch a CRM. He doesn't make money. He just gets his call list that his team gives him. He makes his calls. He does his deals. So, but every team will use a CRM. I'm re-entering brokerage for a different market and spending 2 years on the landlord side. Congratulations. Although I'm not new to the business, I'm new to brokerage in this market. I would have to find out more about you. I don't want to get this wrong. Dilpreet, jump on a strategy call, please, and let's find out more about you. And my team can help you with that specifically. Just use the website you see there and jump on, and we'll find, and jump on and find time for you. Well, with that said, it's 12:55. I think that's all the questions. Listen, folks, I greatly appreciate you investing some time with me this morning or this afternoon. I wish you all the best of luck moving forward. You have some choices to make, hard or harder. It's up to you. But I think every day like today, the future starts right now. All my best to you. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.